One More Turn. Episode 1007, Redirection.
Hudson, no, you can't. We can still...
By the paleness of your skin, I'd say you're done too, Avery. Then there's this.
What are you doing?
Waiting around just long enough to see your reaction to what I've done. What you brought upon yourself, really.
You've published a blog post about the adoption and our disagreement over the adoption as though we hadn't even resolved it, and this is all about our relationship.
All of the facts I presented came out into the open when you ran for mayor.
I get that you're angry. I'll concede that you have every right to be, but this is too far.
I had that drafted weeks ago, but couldn't bring myself to publish it. Not when I thought there was a chance we could indeed resolve our disagreement over the adoption. Hell, perhaps even get back together. I know I've had some relationships stop and stop again in a short amount of time.
Some relationships? Try just one, and a very relevant one to this conversation at that.
This hasn't been a conversation for, some time now. It's an argument, or rather, was an argument, because I'm through with it.
After the stunt you just pulled, you'd be hard-pressed to even find yourself back with...
Bella.
I was looking for you, both of you, but perhaps now's not the best.
Oh, it's perfect, actually. You, better than anyone, can attest to how Hudson operates, which means all of his relationships are doomed to fail at some point, to some degree, yet manages to deny responsibility for any of them.
Let's see anybody trusting you to help them with debt from their failed relationships when you can't be trusted to help yourself avoid those of your own.
You had no right.
I have every right to share parts of my life with anyone and everyone I choose.
Remove this blog post this instant.
A blog? Carson thought I was old.
You're not my mother. Whether you choose to be your child's mother now is none of my affair. I'll read about your decision on Bella's Facebook page like everyone else.
If you said anything libelous in your post, Hudson, Avery could sue for defamation.
The first and best defense to defamation is truth. I have presented only facts.
Facts can be presented so as to give impressions that favor one side or another.
That is also a statement of fact. But then again, you're a lawyer, so there's no one truth.
The look on Avery's face tells me she's not following me, or rather, you.
But you're following me, so I guess you've decided to talk to me first. Speak.
Despite what your home's doormat likely still reads, I expect that this isn't an open invitation to cross a threshold for me. I'd still be a trespasser in your life.
Don't give yourself so much credit for the impacts on my life anymore.
Anymore?
Of course you would focus on that one word. As someone who always has a point, I pride myself on knowing when others are, or are not, at theirs. You are not. What is it?
I'm ready to return to bringing down the Brothers Dork once and for all. Ewan?
Bella.
I should have listened to Carson the first time he rebuked my attempt to get us back together. Moving away from this town only made him more miserable than he already was. I want to revisit our plan to bring Carson and Caleb down, but just Carson now.
Okay. I'll entertain this. For the moment, 7 seasons ago, you told me you learned how it felt to toy with Caleb and Carson's emotions. Shit. You're prepared to stir that up again.
That was on a personal level when I was dating them. This would be professional.
Any targeting of someone professionally is also personal, Belle.
You're defending them?
No, I'm protecting you. Trying to protect you.
Why do you have to protect me? We're not together. Caleb's not even around anymore.
You're making part of my own point for me.
I've heard and seen enough of your points for more than one lifetime. Thank you very much.
Carson's not around either. Effectively.
What's that supposed to mean?
He's only physically back in town because you dragged him here in some twisted attempt to win your wayward mother's approval for reasons that, despite knowing you so well for so long, still elude me. As near as I can gather, Carson's only still around because you two adopted a cat.
His name is Miles, and... Wait, how the heck do you know that?
A number of people in this town never stopped keeping tabs on Carson, freely sharing information about him on social media. It's easily found, even when you're not looking.
People still care about his behaving badly video? That hasn't been news for years.
He's local, as was his brother who recorded that video. He's still news. So are you.
Meaning?
Meaning you had profile here even before you ran your mother's mayoral campaign. We had our own behaving badly infamy not long after Carson's, for that matter.
First, it was audio only. Second, we released it on our own terms. Third, it was only seen as bad by talentless morons, jealous they couldn't make a recording half as good. I'd suggest a penny for your thoughts, but...
They were phased out of circulation in this country around the time we first started working to bring down Caleb and Carson.
I was going to say because despite everything else I know and believe you to be, you're not quite that cheap. But sure.
Things are very different now as compared to then. You're married to Carson, for one.
2, you own One More Turn Solutions. What, outright? Did Caleb sell you his half?
It was the last thing Jacob mediated before he left town, and turned down my offer to sell him that half as communicated to me through you.
All of that is in the past. In the here and now, let's get back together to make Carson pay.
One More Turn. Written and created by Daniel Dan Q. Quick. Edited by Dark Cloud. Directed and produced by Daniel Dan Q. Quick. Characters in order of appearance. Avery, voiced by Jennifer Lund. Hudson, voiced by Daniel Dan Q. Quick. Bella, voiced by Annalie Cardamandua Barney. Sounds courtesy of freesound.org. Music by Kevin MacLeod. Voiceover by Sedgwick. Visit the One More Turn website at onemoreturn.net. Copyright Civilized Communication at civcom.net. On the next episode of One More Turn.
Carson chose to take public responsibility for the Doe contract fiasco.
Fiasco seems a bit misaligned in description, but alright, why would he do that?
So he and I could adopt Avery's child.
What the fuck, Bella?
Language.
English?